Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another special episode of the Loan Officer Marketing Podcast. We are joined by Dante Royster today. Dante, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Man. For our listeners, tell us a little bit about your business, where you're located, and the quick rundown of, tell us about the business.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Epic Mortgage is a regional mortgage broker. I started Epic in October of 2019 is when we first opened the doors.
Nice.
I've been a licensed loan officer. Well, not technically licensed back way back when, but I've been in the mortgage space since June 24th, 2002.
Oh, wow.
So yes, I mean, really straight out of college, started on this journey, and obviously when I came in, rates were 9, 10%, and I was just watching them go down, 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 and then obviously now we're in a different inverted, and I'm watching them go up, up, up. So it's been a interesting journey to say the least, and I'm just proud that I'm still here.
Yeah, absolutely. And through ups and downs, which gives some incredible perspective on where we're at right now. So, first question, we're seeing some really positive news articles, information, volumes this month are up. So what are you seeing coming for the current, spring and summer market? What do you think is going to happen in the market this year?
Yeah, I think overall, first-time home buyers are up, obviously. So I'm getting a lot of first-time home buyers. Definitely, these first-time home buyers are looking for down payment assistance. They're looking for
Mhm.
some type of grant funds. So if you're able to source that type of product or product for them, I think you'll have a great opportunity of success. I think definitely investors are still out buying up homes. I just literally got a text message from an investor, looking for delayed financing opportunities, looking for, fix and flip opportunities. So I think it's, real estate is always vibrant, still strong, and ready to, help them out.
That's it. So, you are one of the top 200 mortgage brokers in the country, which congratulations.
Thank you.
Where do you get the majority of your business from?
Yeah, I would say, I got a little pie chart, I'm sure most people have. 37% of my business comes from realtors. I befriend realtors, I explain to them my products and programs, how I can help them and, provide that service. I'm really, truly at the end of the day, I'm a service provider. And so, 37%. And then 25% of my business is repeat business. It's
Okay.
just constant, just clients that I've already dealt with, they had a great experience and they want to do it again.
Yeah.
And the third, what is it? I think it's 20%, or it might be 21% of my business comes from client referrals.
Yep.
So I'm getting, basically the client, they had a good experience and then they know the family member, coworker or somebody that they know. They say, hey, check out this guy. He was great. And so that is the, top three where I get my business from.
That is amazing. And that's roughly 80% of the business
Correct.
is past customers coming back, doing business with you again, referrals from past customers, and then realtors.
Exactly. And I like that, because, from a broker perspective, there's not a lot of shopping per se, right? There's
Yep.
not a lot of, the loyalty has already been established. They feel the comfort level, I was referred to them by someone that they trust, know, and like. And so it just makes my situation more, specific, unique, where I can just focus on doing the best I can instead of worrying about, oh, is she going to like me or is he shopping me with somebody else?
Yep, 100%. So, we're automating a lot of that with artificial intelligence. So, if you look at repeat business and referral business from your past customers, that's 46%. Let's call it half, if we may be generous with that. But congratulations on knowing your numbers as well. I can tell you, we talk to a lot of businesses, and to get it down to a 37%, that's pretty incredible.
Thank you.
But so we got 46% of your business from repeat business and referral business. What are you doing in order to maintain those relationships, make sure you're top of mind, make sure they come back and do business with you, but also getting referrals at the same time?
Yeah, automation would be, the next level. I mean, right now it's still old school, picking up the phone and dialing. I'm
Yep.
making the phone calls, I'm touching as much as I can. I mean, obviously we're doing the news, the email newsletter, we're doing the phone calls, like I said. We're also, we're involved in social media. A lot of my social media is focused and targeted to my clients. It's not really for billions of people per se. It's really targeted and focused for my consumers, and I just at the end of the day try to provide value.
Yep. That's absolutely phenomenal. So the newsletters that you're doing, are they from a third party? Do you write them? Do you have an assistant write them? What does that look like?
Yeah, so initially, when I got going, and this is probably like 2012, I went to a seminar with Brian Buffini.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, so the pop by and the handwritten letters and notes and stuff like that. So I totally bought in. I said, hey, that's great. And so a lot of my newsletters originally were just canned.
Yep.
Just I bought it, paid subscription, and they sent it out to consumers. But then I started noticing probably last year that it didn't generate what I needed it to generate. It was almost just like an activity that you did, but you didn't really have any meaning behind it. So
Yep.
so I started ratcheting it up a little bit more, where I actually take the time and write it myself.
Hmm.
And try to bring some type of realism, that I'm a real person, that it's not canned, that it's actually maybe something sitting down with my kids and reading a book and I thought about something, or really story time, storytelling. I think that's the trend that I'm noticing across the board that people are doing.
Yeah, 100%. And being able to, and this is an open discussion, but where we've seen a really interesting pivot is providing services outside but related to the mortgage industry. So we just finished giving, so we have an AI powered CRM. And one of the things that a lot of loan officers benefit from, if they're not doing a newsletter, they're not marketing to their database, we've got a year-long campaign. But it's like month number one is the annual mortgage review. But month number two is, hey, have you thought about financial planning? And we, using AI, researched the top things that people need to know about financial planning, but then took those, put them into a format that makes sense. And then at the end, it's like, hey, I hope you found this helpful. And if you want to access my network, I've got a financial planner that I know, like, and trust. I'm happy to make a referral for you. So what it's done is it's turned the database into every month we send out this helpful, valuable information. I think if you put your personal touch on the top, then valuable information, then you've got the opportunity for referrals to come from the database that you can leverage into those other relationships. So are you doing any of that? Are you looking outside of realtors to, say, financial planners, insurance advisors to get referrals as well?
I am. I am. I do find some difficulty just being transparent with you on that. I mean, obviously, a lot of financial advisors that I've bumped into, I noticed, I guess I didn't realize, let me step back. When you deal with a realtor, more times or not, there's a certain territory, region that they cover.
Yeah.
And so it makes it a little bit easier to have multiple of them, because there's only a certain sector that may want to do south side or north side, or et cetera, et cetera. But when you deal with a financial advisor, they're kind of like us to some degree. Like, it's not a big ordeal for them to pay a fee and go be licensed in Texas, or pay a fee and go be in Michigan. So they are a little bit more similar to us in nature. And so I found it difficult. I was like, oh, I really can't have 50 different financial advisors. They're all kind of offering the same product. So I really have to be a little bit more honed into one and build that relationship. Obviously, potentially my own financial advisor, or at least someone that's willing to work with me on referral base. So it has been a little bit of a nuance. So I have made the phone calls. I've used a lot of LinkedIn to
Oh,
try to
nice.
gravitate to financial advisors, but a lot of it has been interview. Like,
Yeah.
I got to see if I'm a good fit for you, but I got to see if you're a good fit for me, because it's got to work. It's got to be a win-win relationship.
Yep. 100%. Very well said. So you're calling the database. You've got a newsletter that goes out to the database. Anything above and beyond that that you're really doing to nurture those relationships?
Let me think off the top. I mean, that's my biggest thing. Yeah, the phone
It's
calls.
amazing.
Yeah, I did, obviously, like you speak of automation and just the technology that we have, this year I started my own podcast.
Nice.
Um, so that was huge. I wrote a book last year. So, which
Wow.
the book has been such an amazing situation. The Ultimate Mortgage Guide, it's on Amazon,
Oh,
but
nice.
it has been fascinating in the regard that, it's not a money maker,
Yep.
it's actually just an introduction
Mhm.
piece. And it really has become my new business card.
Yep.
And so we do a lot of media mailers,
Okay.
especially if I'm trying to get, someone's attention.
Right.
And
Awesome. So
then,
you'll put the book in the mail and send it to a realtor before you call them and before you go to meet with them.
exactly, exactly. It's like, oh, I got a book. Like, who is this? And then the phone call comes. So it lets them know, hopefully, like, I'm ready for business. Like, this is a serious phone call. It was always funny to me because I've always looked at our profession as very important. I mean,
Yeah.
we're not just, the guy over there, or average Joe. I mean, we have this license to help people and change their lives financially. And so always thought of myself, just right up there with a financial advisor, just up there with the, licensed agent that's really good, so I don't think I'm a schlep, or anything like that. And so, I've always said, hey, when I call, like, you should know, like, that's an important phone call you shouldn't miss. And so I think the book just validates that.
Yeah, 100%. I could not agree more. How long did it take you to write the book?
So it took about 6 months. Um,
Whoa,
yeah.
that is a commitment.
It is a commitment. It was harder than I thought, but then
Mm.
it got easier with time. But it was the outline that was, staying focused. And it wasn't Netflix and chill every night. It was actually, going to the computer and all right, this is what I want to talk about on this chapter and really breaking it down. But once you have the outline, it does get easier.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then did you work with a specific format in mind, or was it just like, here's the process I want to guide people through? And then, well, okay, so first off, did you kind of write it in pieces, or did you have the outline first and then just filled it in?
Yeah, basically, I got the outline first, and worked with a lot of different marketers and try to get the concept down of like, okay, what am I doing here? What is it designed for? And primarily speaking, it's designed for a first-time home buyer. It's designed for someone that, is entering the market, maybe hasn't done it in a long time, and just some of the do's and don'ts and things to be made aware of. It's a reminder of like, hey, sometimes it's very cumbersome. It's not an easy process per se. So
Yes.
you might want to have a trusted professional to work with. You can't just do it yourself. It's not DIY type of situation. So that's the premise of the book. And so once I got the outline of, okay, this is what I want to stay focused on, and then it was kind of pretty easy to just fill in the blanks, with countless stories, scenarios that popped up and originated through my time.
That's amazing. And then once you got the book written, what was the publishing process like? Did you self-publish on Amazon? What did that look like?
Yeah, so I found like kind of a hybrid publisher.
Okay.
And so he worked with me and helped me out as far as like, the book covers and all that type of Amazon stuff. Once again, I am now officially a best-selling author, which is cool, but at the end of the day, I'm still a loan officer.
Right.
That is my main job. And I always wanted to stay in my main job. So it's like if I could find someone to help delegate that stuff, to really kind of help me, it was great. But I think it was just funny just because the realization was initially it's like you write this book, you actually have this, now you have a product. And so
Mm.
you try to push it out in the market, like, hey guys, buy this product. And then, a couple sales came at first and then, it kind of trickled off and you're like, hey, no one, it's not viral, from day one.
That's right.
And it really is you're really introducing yourself to the world. And so that has been a truly humbling experience, a very, just rewarding experience.
That is amazing. And being able to give it to new clients, to give it to new referral partners, to use it as that foot in the door, there's all kinds of benefits that come along with that. So, congratulations on that.
Thank you so
Um,
much.
I'm also interested in the podcast. So, what was your initial idea behind the podcast? Why did you launch a podcast?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I felt like 2023, right? So 2023 was pretty a rough year,
Yeah.
in the real estate mortgage space. it definitely, it took some people out, to be, transparent. Some people that I knew, and I was, sad to hear. So, I knew I had to kind of spice up things, be a little bit different, and I had to get myself out there. I think the transition that I've done, I started off with a real kind of concept of B2B.
Right.
So my whole kind of strategy was, I wanted to, work with like-minded people, but obviously business professionals. And then, you look at your network, I look at mine, and who can help who, and make those win-win relationships like we spoke of. But then, it was harder in 2023 because when the rates doubled like they did, that transition, people just didn't have as much business,
Yep.
especially that 37%. So we were in a situation where it's like, okay, if the realtors are not sending in the business, we have to, pivot and move into more of a consumer direct mindset.
Yep.
And to do that, I was like, okay, where are people?
Mhm.
It's almost been a while, even though some of the business, it was repeat business. So they're calling me saying, hey, I want to do it again, or they're referring me. But if I truly wanted to get the consumer, I felt like I had to go on YouTube. I had to be where people are. And so that's when the whole kind of, I dabbled with it over time, onesie, twosies, but I really got engaged with, okay, I got to have training modules. I got to have, a show that people want to see, and really wanted to build my platform on that space.
Absolutely. So are you using it as an opportunity to interview realtors and talk to realtors, and it's a networking play? Or are you producing content that's specifically designed to go consumer direct to get a customer?
I think it's a little bit of both. I
Nice.
think I wanted to have a premise that was not all predicated on real estate, just like
Yep.
you referenced, having that kind of quote unquote backdoor method of, I'm a human being. I have a consumer hat on just like other people. So there are times where, I need to buy things. So let's talk about things that I truly are interested in. So, I wanted to base it on, kind of the four pillars of life, where health is important, wealth is obviously important, but love and happiness, and having conversations with people that are in businesses like that. That could be a realtor, but that also could be a chiropractor. And I had a show yesterday with a nurse practitioner.
Yep.
So and those conversations, hopefully the audience will resonate with those and say, hey, wow, that was really good information I didn't know. But it did also bring up, as you referenced, the networking capability of me sitting down with a nurse practitioner that maybe never thought about just the new stuff that's going on in real estate and mortgages, and like, oh, I didn't know about the line of credit, or I didn't know I could fix and flip, or I didn't know you could actually help me buy certain things. So it has allowed me to introduce my business to other businesses, and
Yep.
so it's been powerful in that direction as well.
Yep, 100%. And so we run a similar podcast strategy in our marketing mastermind. So we're with the Mortgage Marketing Animals,
Yep.
mortgagemarketinganimals.com. And we do a weekly mastermind call. And one of the strategies that we focus on is a podcast. And we tend to keep it somewhere in the realm of real estate because we know everybody wants to buy a house, nobody wants a mortgage. So we love interviewing the realtors, and it's evergreen content because it's like, okay, well, here's the March update, here's the April update. Like, it's evergreen content, but it also allows you to interview all those people that are close enough to the transaction that you can turn them into referral sources, so you can get those drips of business. And I had a wonderful interview here on the podcast with one of the top 20 mortgage brokers in the country. She
Mm.
gets the majority of her business from solar companies.
Oh,
And I was
wow.
like, what? Like, that's incredible. But then all of a sudden, it's like, okay, well, you could have a solar company on your podcast, get that consumer direct ranking on YouTube for people that are interested on solar financing. Well, it turns out a refi or a HELOC is oftentimes the most competitive option to be able to finance a solar project.
Wow.
So all of a sudden, now you've got this whole niche of people like fix and flips.
Mhm.
I'm talking to home contractors, like what are the top 10 most, or I would say maybe top three most common renovations that people are doing. All of a sudden, if you're going to renovate, give me a call. there might be an opportunity there. So ways to layer that into the referral relationships, I think is brilliant. So what you're doing is just absolutely amazing, Dante. That's fantastic.
No, thank you so much, and I appreciate that tip. I need to find a solar company.
Yeah, then there's lots of options out there. So my dad is a mortgage broker. That's originally how I got into the business. And one of his top, I guess, networking fellows, because they were all like buddies that were in the mortgage industry. Some might call him a competitor, but they were all, in the same marketplace. But, we'd all go hang out for lunch and that sort of thing. But anyways, he got the majority of his business from salons.
Wow.
So he was like the most clean cut guy because he was at a salon like 2, 3 times a week getting his hair cut, and his wife was going out because that's like it was just where they got a lot of business from. So the mortgage business, I love it because the opportunities are almost endless, just limited by creativity.
And like you said, it really, it's not competition. It's like I've never been in a scenario where it's like it's you versus, Chris. It's just not like that. I mean, especially, we go down our own separate paths. We have our own separate stories. I mean, the where roads collide, I mean, it's very few and far between. It's more of a consumer if they are, they just don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
It's about the level of how you can explain something to somebody. That's truly some of the battles that I deal with. It's not necessarily like, oh, I mean, every once in a while, of course, you have to go, this guy's got this rate, that guy's got that one. And as a broker and as the owner, I'm going to win,
Yep.
at the end of the day. But it's never about that initially. It's just about building relationships, making friends. And yeah, I don't really see that competition. So it's always good to have camaraderie.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Creating a book and a podcast. But for the ultimate value here for our listener, I want to loop this back to the very beginning of our episode here. 37% of your business comes from realtor referrals, and 46% comes from either past customers or referral partners. Writing a book, starting a podcast, all amazing things to do once you have the fundamentals. I want to bring it back to the original of the episode or the beginning of the episode where Dante said, I make my phone calls. And if you're in the mortgage business and you're looking to move the needle right now, because now is the time to move it because the market is turning around, volumes are coming. Now is the time we got to start putting the activity in. Start with your phone calls, start with your database, build that relationship, just ask for referrals, and then start working a qualified list of realtor referral partners in your market. Once you got those down, then you can go look at some of the shiny stuff with the podcasts and the books, but you're not there yet. Dante's been in the game a long time. He is a seasoned professional, and he's doing the fundamentals to bring in the business and stacking that on top for consumer direct. Dante, with that being said, any final thoughts, anything that you feel our listeners really need to know?
I mean, you hit it on the head. I mean, start with the basics, stick with the basics. I mean, it's when I first got going, it was the top 100 list, and
Yeah,
it's making sure that everyone knows what you do and who you are and your passion and your purpose, So I leave you with passion and purpose. That's the name of the game. I have a passion, I have a purpose, and I remind myself that every day, and then I go to work and I make that happen.
that is amazing. Well, to all of our listeners, if that's not worth 5 stars, I don't know what is. Head on over to iTunes, hit us with a 5 star rating and a review on social. Hit us with that like and follow. Make sure you subscribe so that you get the next episode. And Dante, again, where do people go to find more information about you and Epic Mortgage?
Well, I appreciate that. www.epic.mortgage is our website. So epic.mortgage. Like you said, Amazon, you can get the Ultimate Mortgage Guide. It's not all about rates. So check it out. And thank you for your time.
Awesome. And we'll have all that information in the show notes. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.